We currently have this telephone number directly dialing into our user named Bob down here below, but you can specify this however you wish. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Contacts tab up here above. Under the Contacts tab, once again, keep in mind you're logged in as the admin user, so when you add a contact in this page, these contacts will be pushed out to every telephone in your tenant organization and will be available when they select directories on their telephone or in their own personal portal. Each user, once again, can add their own numbers as well in their login information, and those contacts will be specifically on their phone only. But as the admin user, these go to all of the telephones. This is where you can add your contact, edit the information in it regarding the person's name, email, if you want it in the directory or not, and just be sure to click Update Contact if you make any sort of changes in there. Okay, let's now move on to the Call History tab up here above. Here is where you can generate call detail reports based on all of your users or a specific user. It's currently set to all right now. However you want the report type, and you can download a report that you generate right here. So let's say, for example, you want to generate in a PDF file all of the users' call details just for the month of January. Let's go to 2011, starting in January 1st, end date on 2011, January 31st. We click Generate Report right here at the bottom, and you should have details that are opened up here in a PDF file. All right, that is how you generate your reports. And now let's go ahead and move on to the Call Recordings tab. Under this tab is where you will see all of your call recordings. When you're on a call, you can choose to record that call by clicking a specific star code, and you'll be provided with a star code chart with many options and many star codes provided to you by Nuvio. But once you record that call and you hang up, that recorded call is going to appear in this area here. From here, you'll be able to choose to play that call that you recorded, to download, save, and you'll have more options here. All right, now the last thing we need to do here to finish up your setup is manage your users. So let's go ahead and click on Users up here in the bar to go back to our user management page. Here, our user named Bob, let's go ahead and click Details next to his name. And now keep in mind, you're looking at this user as the admin. As an admin user, you and only you can make these changes. Here's where you can put the user's name in, their login email, update that user there, and then below we have all of the details for this user. You can change the extension here. We have them keeping in the 100 range just to differentiate between hunk groups and auto attendants. If you have your own extensions that you wish to keep, you can keep those as well, as long as they stay in the 3-digit ranges or the 5-digit ranges. Okay, let's move on down here below to the domain name. This is a number that we assign to you. The time zone, you want to make sure this is correct and corresponding with each user in case, say, Bob is in a different area of the country than someone else. You want to make sure that he's getting his calls in the correct time zone. The account ID here is what we assign as well. The anonymous rejection option here, if someone is calling in and they have their caller ID set to anonymous, your phone will automatically reject it if you wish. You don't have to choose that. You have an option of no option at all, of having it go straight to your voicemail or a message, however you wish to specify that. The default area code here is going to be what your area code is for this user. This option here, the Executive Busy Override, is an option that allows you to, for example, if it's set to true, this extension, Bob, this user, has the ability now to override other extensions and eavesdrop or whisper intercom, etc. This is usually the manager or someone who gets this privilege enabled while everyone else gets it set to false, meaning that they are not able to listen in or override anyone's calls. So this is a very, very touchy option here. Once again, if you have any questions about what these options mean, go ahead and hover over them, and as you can see, you get a little pop-up box that has an explanation of what it means in case you forget. All right, the next option here is the Executive Busy Override Exempt. If this is set to true, This means that no one can override your calls, no one can barge in, and only this person is able to do that. So that option there is another one that's pretty privileged. Moving on down the line, we have the effective caller ID name, Bob, this user here, whatever their user was that you specified earlier, their caller ID number. And then the intercom option here, set to false, means that this person is disabled from using the hands-free intercom or not. And then if you have it set to true, this means that this user has the intercom enabled so they can use the hands-free intercom. The maximum calls here we have as a standard set to 2, but we can increase this for a live receptionist who needs to have more than 2 calls on hold at once. But standard, we have it set up to 2. The outbound caller ID name here, we just have as the portal demo right now. So this is going to be what's going to pop up on someone else's caller ID when you call out, as well as what your number is. So if you wanted to say private number or your office number, whatever that specific user's number is. Call pickup here allows you to pick up a call on someone else's desk if you wish. You can have it set to none. If you have it set to all, this means that you can press a star code. Once again, you'll be provided with the star code chart. The star code will allow you to push into their extension on your desk and pick up their phone call. If you have it set to directed, this means that another star code will be used and you can only pick up that particular extension, as opposed to all of the desks in the office. If you have this set to group, this means that you can pick up phones in groups. For example, the Hunt group, as their group, you can pick up that phone call through another star code. Moving on down the line here, we have the attached voicemail file. This just means that when you receive a voicemail on your phone, it's going to go to your email as an attachment also. The email voicemail messages, when this option is set to true, that just means that your voicemails will be emailed to you. When it's set to false, that means they will not. The next option says keep voicemail on server. If you have this set to true, this means that your voicemail message will remain on our servers until you delete it on your IP phone, even after we email it out to you. If it's set to false, this means that after we email your voicemails to you, it will automatically be deleted out of the portal and off of your phone after we've sent it out. At the bottom here, we have the email that you want your voicemails to be sent to, and then the type of voicemail message you want. The WAV files seem to work best. Once you make your details and your changes, go ahead and click Update Variables here at the bottom to make sure that your changes have been made. Now we have edited all of the information on the details page for this user. Now let's go back to the user management page and manage this user. So click Manage next to Bob, this user here. And by clicking on Manage User, we are now logged in as this user. So when Bob logs into his personal portal, this is what he's going to see. Now we can see what the user can control via their personal portal access. The first thing we'll notice here over on the left is their active treatment. When their extension or their telephone number is dialed, they can edit this treatment to have it ring their desk. They can edit it to say forward, so that if they go somewhere on lunch or leave the office and they want their calls forwarded to their cell phone, for example, they can go ahead and type in their cell phone number here, whether they want it to go to the voicemail or not. And for the caller ID section, if they want to use the caller's caller ID so that it comes up as a call coming from your office as opposed to a call from a friend or a relative, or my caller ID, meaning it's someone not associated with your Nuvio phone system. Make sure you click Make Active and Update if you want this to be forwarded. Another edit treatment here, we can have go to your voicemail. So this means that you're going to actively have the phone number that someone calls in to you, have it go straight to your voicemail. You can also have another treatment edit option here of Follow Me. If you go somewhere throughout the day that you want to go, say for example from your desk phone, you want it to go to your extension there, and then next go to your cell phone, and then from there on you want it to go to your house phone. And then the number of seconds between each step, 15 seconds is about 3 rings on the telephone. 4 seconds is about 1 ring. So however long you want that to be set to. If you want these numbers and extensions to all ring at one time or not, or you can also have it set to go to your voicemail or not. Click Update and Make Active here at the bottom to make sure those changes are saved. Or you can have another edit treatment up here. The last option is the time of day setting. And under this, you can go ahead and click Configure Time of Day Settings, and that'll open up a page that looks just like the last page we had when you were configuring the time of day settings for your entire organization. Going back over here now, we have the call history down at the bottom. This allows you to see all of the calls made to and from this extension. They can also choose to click on the hyperlink phone numbers to make a call here. It will ring their desk phone once you click on it, and then you pick it up and your call will be connected. To the right over here on the top, you can see where the voicemails will appear. You can delete them here by clicking this red circle. You can download the voicemails to your computer by clicking this down arrow, and then the right arrow is to play this voicemail through your portal. It tells you also all of the details of these voicemails. Going on down, we can also see the caller ID and device and edit this information here. This is all of the information for this user specifically, their external caller ID, what shows up on other people's phones when you call, your internal caller ID, your email that your voicemails get sent to, the time zone, your extension, and then if you want to click to call a number, once again, you can just type in a number here, click call, and it's going to ring your desk phone, which you will then pick up, and that call will then be connected. The last option here on this dashboard is the call recordings. This is where the call recordings will appear. Now let's move on to the user settings up here. Once again, when Bob is logged into his personal portal, he will see all of this. So he's going to have these options up here. So let's go into the user settings here. And this is where this user can control some of their settings and change their voicemail PIN, their password, etc. All of these options for this specific user. But keep in mind, the admin user can always override these options if need be. Lastly, let's go to the Contacts tab here. This is where the actual user themselves will enter their own personal contacts that will appear only on their phone directory. Keep in mind that each phone is different and varies on total amount of people in the directory, but Nuvio has it set to where the admin contacts always take precedent over the users. So if the phone holds 80 contacts, for example, and the user puts in 40, then the admin pushes out 60, their phone will drop 20 of their user contacts. On the sound manager here, once again, this is just where you can upload any greetings or sounds, your voicemail. That brings our admin portal walkthrough to a close. So if you have any further questions at all, go ahead and email us at support@nuvio.com or call us at 816-444-4422 and someone will assist you with your questions. Thank you.